it's a real risk to the banking system too, Michael. And that's what people don't really think about. They're saying, oh, there's risk in commercial loans. They don't realize that everyone's debt is another's liability. Is another's asset. And so the debt on the books of the commercial real estate are the assets of the bank. So if the bank has to write down those loans, or they take a loss, or the people give them back the property, which is happening all across the country in office today, the banks now have to write down the value of their assets. Well, if their liabilities are still high, they could be insolvent on paper because of loans that they had on the books that go under, and that can cause additional bank failures. And so banks are tightening credit because they don't want to lend you money when they need to hold reserves and assets to help offset some of these losses. So that's the real issue that we're dealing with here, that really not enough people are talking about. How big are those loans? How many will default? And how many banks have enough reserves and assets to be able to handle all of those losses?
Yeah, the cash in refi, it's going to be a challenge. And I don't think anybody else is talking about it. Because again, it could be a great building, could be an experienced operator.
Absolutely.
Bad timing. And
yeah. And I can tell you this, just two things, because again, we think of, oh, this is scary, right? Banks won't lend me money. There's always someone that will lend you money. So you find a great deal and a great opportunity. You can find the money to take it down, whether it's, hard money, private money, a couple of loans. I mean, you can restructure all kinds of things. So when I see these kind of things happening, I think there's huge opportunity coming, because a lot of people have to sell really good assets. And so I'm still underwriting deals. We've made LOIs in the last couple of weeks on a couple of deals that are really strong properties. And especially if you can find one with a loan assumption where their loans aren't actually coming due, but there's other things in their loans that they're not able to meet those loan covenants, like interest rate caps going up, too high or something like that. So there's huge opportunity to buy properties at a much lower basis today than you could have gotten them before, and then, potentially refi later. But people ask, are we in a credit crunch? You haven't seen it as much in residential, but on the commercial side, it's a significant credit crunch. I mean, we're building and developing apartments, and there are lenders who have said yes, given a pre-approval, given a term sheet, and then come in and go, guys, we have a problem, and it has nothing to do with you, but your, $80 million loan, our bank can't do it anymore because we have to hold more reserves because we have a problem. So we can do it, but we can only give you 50% LTV instead of the 70 that we promised you. So we're seeing this over and over and over, myself and also some other operators and developers, that banks that gave a yes answer are now backing off and saying, sorry, we can't do it. So this is happening in real time in the commercial space, and even in multifamily, which are considered much more safe and stable loans than office or retail, for example.